Hello, everyone. Welcome to Magical Mondays. My name is Misty Petrella. I am so happy that you're with me today. It's a little rainy boo-boo outside, but we still have a lot of work to do in the world, right? So let's get your Monday started magically, okay? And you can carry this energy with you throughout the entire week, all right? So today's episode, we're talking about three important things. One, something we do at the start of every episode, calming your mind and getting back into your body so you can be productive and powerful and do your work in the world. Two, we're going to be talking about planning your week out with joy. Yes. And three, we're going to be talking about developing your thought leadership and how to start thinking about yourself as a thought leader instead of, just an entrepreneur. Every business out there, especially the ones that are watching this, you guys have a big mission in the world. And that mission is only empowered by having a strong message and being a thought leader. So we're going to be talking about how to do that. Okay, so first things first, we got to do this thing first because it is the most important thing you can do. And that is calming that mind, getting back in your body, and out of your head. One of the biggest things that I encounter myself personally and with my clients is when your mind starts spinning on something potentially negative, or you're worrying about a client, or whatever it could be, okay? And that energy spent out here in some like worry pattern is taking away from your power to do your work in the world. So we're going to do an exercise right here. How to calm your mind and get back in your body. So I'm going to close my eyes. If you don't want to, if you want to just like look down to the ground and like in a soft gaze, let your eyes sort of go a little blurry. That's fine too. I'm going to close my eyes so you can get the biggest benefit from it. Okay, so just make sure that your feet are on the ground, that your back is nice and straight, and that you're sort of holding yourself up. You don't want to be like up and straight like this, and you don't want to be slouchy. So try and find like that middle spot where you're almost like holding yourself up. You don't really have to use much energy to do it. It's somewhere like right on top of your sits bones. And what I want you to do is to take a moment and scan. We're going to take a moment and scan your whole body, okay? And from the inside out, not from the outside in. So I want you to feel the top of your head and relax that. And your forehead. Relax any muscles around your brain. And the back of your head. Relax those muscles around your eyes. Around your mouth, around your throat, front and back. If you encounter any tension along the way, just send it a little relaxation. Now down into your shoulders, relax those. Your arms. Relax your hands. Your torso, relax that belly. We store a lot of tension. I just relaxed a whole bunch. We store a lot of tension in our belly. That's kind of where it lives. Relax those hips from the inside out. And your legs, your ankles, feet, and toes. Now check a moment and see how you feel. Put a nice soft smile on your face. Now I want you to take one slow breath in, one nice slow breath out. Another slow breath in. Slow breath out. Now, as you breathe, I literally want you to receive the oxygen into your body as a gift. And when you exhale, you're giving that gift of CO2 to something else. Just breathe naturally. Okay, move your fingers and toes a little bit. We're coming back into the room now. Every time I do that tiny little, I think that was 4 minutes, guys, less than 5 minutes, I feel better. I feel more present with you folks. I feel more relaxed. I definitely feel more in my body. Powerful, guys, okay? Anytime that you are starting to spin about something, and you know what I mean, like spinning up here in your mind, anytime you are starting to spin, hello, anytime that you are starting to spin, I want you to do this exercise. Really, really powerful exercise to get you back in your body and out of your mind. Our minds are powerful when they're working for us. But if you are in worry or anxiety, I'm going to be sending out the exercise we just did. It literally took 4 minutes, guys. And I already feel better. So thank you for being there with me. But don't worry, you'll get it all in the replay. Okay, so important discussion number 2. Actually, let's back up for a second. When you are doing this mindfulness exercise that we just did, that literally took 4 minutes, before you do it, I want you to give yourself a grade of like how I feel on a scale of like 1 to 10. 1 being really, really bad, and 10 being, I feel amazing, right? So like, give yourself a check in with how you feel, and like literally notate it. Am I at a 4? Am I kind of feeling like kind of average? Am I having a really good day? Am I feeling like a 10? So check in with where you are. Then do the exercise we just did. Then check in with yourself again and find out for yourself, how much better do I feel? Your insides will give you a number. They always do. Okay, so now we can move on. So what I want to talk about is planning your week with joy, which we talk about every week because, well, frankly, our weeks need a little planning in them. So this week, what are you working on that is super joyful? What are you excited about? What are you working on that is getting your juices flowing or is bringing you joy in any way? Make note of it. And how can you support yourself? If you have things coming up this week, like I'm doing this Magical Monday right now. If you have a webinar, if you're doing an interview, or if you have something that you're really excited about coming up this week, how can you support yourself to be in joy when you have to go do the thing, whatever it is? Like before this, I just went and had a beautiful breakfast with 2 people I care very dearly about. What a wonderful way to start my morning, right before I get to jump on this call with you. I haven't done working out yet, but I meditated this morning, which I do every morning. And after this call, I'm going to go. I have a call with a client later today. I actually have 2 calls with clients later today. And before those calls, I'm going to go get my workout in so that I can feel like really amazing and in my body. That's how I'm supporting myself to even more joy. How can you support yourself into more joy around the activities you have going on this week? Guys, joy isn't something that you're like, oh, I should just wake up joyful. That is not how this goes. We all wake up in whatever state we wake up in. No one is like, I mean, every once in a while I'm like, oh my gosh, what an exciting day. I feel so good. But like, guys, getting into my place of like excitement and joy and like, that's intentional. I make decisions to do that. If I wake up in a boo-boo state and I'm like, oh God, I'm feeling kind of crappy, I very clearly know the things I need to do to get me back into like my most powerful self. For me, working out, I have to turn all that mental energy into kinetic energy, right? It is so good for me if I'm working out regularly. Not even that long, please. If I don't meditate on the regular, also gets my energy really funky. If I'm feeling bad, like mentally, not physically, if I'm feeling physically bad, I take a break, right? If I feel like sick. But if I'm feeling mentally bad, I will go watch some motivational video. I mean, there's a million of them on YouTube. I can recommend them. Anything by Matthias Z. Matthias M is actually his name. Highly recommend to get you back in your joy. Okay? But being joyful and empowered and ready to take on the world isn't something that is accidental. It's not like some people wake up that way and some people don't. Nobody wakes up that way all the time. Ain't Tony Robbins waking up that way all the time. Ain't Oprah waking up all that way all the time. It just doesn't work that way, guys. This stuff's intentional. These people who are creating success and are excited and joyful about it, very purposeful, very intentional. You just don't see what they're doing every day to get them there. So back to joy. If this week you have some really cool things that you want to support yourself around, what gets you back in your body? What's empowering for you to bring your joy back so that you are supported and ready to go and excited and amazed for what's coming up and prepared? If you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, I'm nervous for whatever is going on in your week, how can you support yourself? Start thinking about it. Now, another way to look at this, what do you have going on this week that isn't joyful? What do you got to get done? Don't you love my English? What must you complete? That you're kind of like, yeah, I got to do this thing. Kind of don't know if I want to do it, but I got to do it. I mean, every once in a while we have a thing like that. How can you support yourself to get through the thing you don't want to do? Is there a way to make the thing that you're kind of like, I don't really want to do that? Is there a way to make it joyful? Is there a way to shift that for yourself? I'm betting that there is. Just saying. Okay, guys, so what is that for you? Like I said, bringing joy into your week, planning it in is very intentional. It's not accidental. So, what can you add in to this week to make it more joyful? What can you add into this week that you hadn't already planned on doing that can make your week more fun? Even in your business. I mean, we could do this in life too. But in your business, what's someone you can reach out to that would be joyful, or a new project you can start that sounds like fun, or whatever. Enjoying our work, coming at it with love, very, very intentional. And absolutely within your power. Stop doing work that isn't fun, guys. I mean, sometimes we got to do stuff. You know, you got to send emails sometimes. I had a reminder email about this call that I got in just barely before the call itself. But guys, all within our control. We can't control what happens to us all the time, but we can control how we deal with it. even if it doesn't feel easy to. Okay. So section 3 of today's call is really about developing your thought leadership. So in terms of your thought leadership, and Sue, if you want to use the chat box, please feel free. What do you feel like your message is in the world? If you're a thought leader, what do you believe is the most important message you have to deliver to the world right now? You can use the chat box. You don't have to, Mama, if you don't want to. But what is the most important thing that you need to deliver to the world right now? What does the world, with its oh so many fun challenges right now, what does the world need to hear from you? Because thought leadership, let's talk about what thought leadership is. Sorry guys, my leg was itching. Let's talk about what thought leadership is, right? Thought leadership is, well, one, it is the most important message you think the world needs to hear, right? That's sort of like your umbrella, what you're going to say. That's your message. But thought leadership is several things. One, powerful thought leadership is saying what needs to be said, no matter if people will like it or not. Thought leadership is having courage and vulnerability at the same time. Let's even think about who you think are strong thought leaders. Who are your thought leaders? That's a good question. Who are your thought leaders in the world right now? Who are you like, oh, I just cannot wait to hear the next word that person utters? I have a couple. Lisa Nichols, huge thought leader of mine. I think she's amazing. I love her. Jennifer, now Lisa Nichols for me is all about like, she has a lot of like, I really follow her because of her energy. She's got this like vitality and this like, I don't know, this like, there's not a lot of women who speak in the way that she does. There's a lot of guys who are like the Tony Robbins style, like, yeah, you could do this and stop it, you know, and he gets like real aggressive, which I love in his speaking. Sometimes when it's called for. Sometimes he's very gentle. And Lisa does that same thing in the feminine way. And there's not a lot of women doing that with her like energy and like the vitality with which she brings to it and the passion. And that's why I totally dig her. Jennifer Cass, she is my thought leader in her ability to discuss love. And I mean, sometimes it's about relationships, but really, I mean, like the bigness of love, like love as a wholeness, not as just romantic love, right? She talks about like the big version of love. And I think that the way she does that is magnificent and very loving. She has sort of like this Buddhist-esque flair, spiritual-esque, Buddhist-esque flair that I subscribe to personally. So I just dig the way that, and she has a very different style than I do. Her style is very gentle and very subtle, which mine isn't. Well, it can be, but that's not my general energy. So she is very different from me, and that's something that I respect about her as a thought leader. And she also says big, powerful things. She's sort of fearless, which I really dig. So who are your thought leaders? Like, who inspires the boo-boo out of you with their message? Who are you like, please say more things just so I can hear you say them? Tony? This beautiful woman, Maru Yabicella, she calls him Uncle Tony, which I gotta say, I kind of feel the same way about him. I respect with utter, I don't know. I just have utter respect for this man and his ability to help someone shift quickly and to see a transformation within a moment in front of large crowds of people is powerful. And I respect the shillelaghs out of that. I think it's very cool. So guys, again, all of these people, whoever you're prescribing to, whoever geeks you out with their ability to speak truths, whatever they are for you, guys. So whoever those are, what do you like? What are you really respecting that they do? What is it that you're like, oh my God, I think that Oprah is so amazing because da 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 da. Or I think Gandhi was so amazing because he give hope, that's beautiful. I think Gandhi was so amazing because, of his peaceful protesting ways, or whatever it is, right? But who is it that's inspiring the shit out of you right now? And what is it that they're doing in their thought leadership? So one is, I would say all of my thought leaders fearlessly speak their message. They're willing to say things that other people aren't. And guys, that's huge. If you're willing to talk to your tribe in a way that other people aren't willing to be honest with them, even if it's hard to hear, powerful. What does your tribe need to hear from you? Like, what are they jonesing to know next? Your thought leadership, in large part, is, I'm feeling as though my tribe needs to hear something around surviving and thriving. Yes, mama. I love that. Surviving and thriving with depression and anxiety, right? Man, that's powerful. So there's one coach talking about saying things that aren't popular. There's one coach I know who takes a huge stand against manifesting. Now, I don't know if she actually believes in the ability to manifest or not, but what it does do is get people to respond. So, one, okay, what does the world need to hear from you? Thought leadership starts on a big scale, right? I mean, ideally, you have an ideal client who's one person, a representation. That's actually one person you're talking to. So if that makes you feel safer, what does that one person need to hear from you? What can you talk to the world about that no one else can do? What are you willing to say that is unpopular, even though it's true? Thought leadership also addresses the needs of your ideal client, or whoever your tribe is, right? Whoever follows you, whoever you're passionate about working with. So how can your message really, really help someone? And what voice are you bringing? Guys, there's a million voices out there. No joke. There's like the really soft, peaceful, spiritual voice. There's like the in-your-face, sassy voice. There's like the joy voice, like always happy. No matter what, guys, be you 100%. 100%. Thought leadership is so valuable when you are being you 175%. What stories? I also like Leonie Dawson. I love Leonie Dawson. I love Leonie Dawson, and I love her books. I haven't ordered mine this year, and I'm bummed about it. I know I'm not going to get that little flip patty thing. I missed it last year, too. She has these great planners. Anyway, what stories of yours does your tribe need to hear from you? How vulnerable are you willing to be? Big stuff. I'm going to tell you this right now. The more vulnerable you're able to be, the more people will flock to you. And I'm not talking about like, oh, my life is so bad, vulnerable. I'm talking about being, using your story is something you want to do. You want to use scabs. You don't want to use open wounds. So I don't remember who told this story before, but you want to use your stories that are old, that you've had a chance to process already, and that you have a lesson from. Don't just be like, oh, my day was so bad and you need to hear my day. Nobody wants to hear well, some people rant. It's not my personal geek. Some people rant about like how frustrated they are. That's just not the vibe I want to attract. But that works too. Remember, just because I don't do it that way doesn't mean you shouldn't. Like I said, be yourself 100%. Okay, guys, I hope you have an amazing day. That's it for our thought leadership. Any questions about thought leadership as like an idea? Please feel free to pop them in. Remember, adding and planning your week with joy is absolutely in your control. Even if you have to do things you're like, oh, I gotta go do the thing. Even if you have a thing like that, within your control, okay? And don't forget the calming exercise we did at the very beginning, okay? Takes 4 or 5 minutes. I recommend doing it several times a day until it feels like normal and regular and all that kind of stuff. But try it out. Like I said, 4 little minutes. Okay, you guys, you have an amazing day. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, my name is Misty Petrella. You can find out more about me in The Empowered Entrepreneur on Facebook. I love you guys. Mwah. Have an amazing day. Bye.